You know that feeling, right? You check into a hotel, you drop your bags, and you just collapse on the bed. For most of us, that's the hotel experience. We see the lobby, our room, maybe the bar, but just beneath that surface, there's this incredibly complex, data-driven machine working 24/7, and it's all designed for one thing: maximizing profit. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on that very machine.
So let's start with the most obvious question. When you book that room, what are you really paying for? Yeah, sure, a place to sleep, a clean bathroom, but that price you see? Oh, it is anything but a random number.
In reality, that room rate is a single, perfectly calibrated gear in a massive financial engine. A modern hotel's business is so much more sophisticated than just renting out some rooms. To really understand how this machine works, we gotta start with how hotels actually make their money. And spoiler alert, while rooms are definitely king, not all the money a hotel makes is created equal. Not by a long shot. Okay, check this out. This is the hotel's profitability pyramid. And as you'd probably guess, guest rooms are right there at the top. They are by far the most profitable thing a hotel sells. But here's where it gets interesting. Look what's next. Meeting spaces are huge moneymakers, followed really closely by alcohol sales, specifically drinks served at banquets and then in the bar. And way down at the bottom, the food you get in the hotel restaurant. Now that gap you saw between banquet food and restaurant food on the pyramid, that is no accident. It points us directly to one of the hotel's biggest and, honestly, most overlooked profit centers, the banquet gold mine. So why are banquets such a gold mine? Well, it all comes down to efficiency. When you compare them to a regular restaurant, the costs for food and labor are just so much lower. And why is that? Because for a banquet, the hotel knows exactly how many people are coming and exactly what they're going to eat. That kind of predictability means almost zero food waste and perfect staff scheduling. A restaurant, on the other hand, is basically just guessing how many people might walk in the door. And the result of all that amazing efficiency? A truly massive profit margin. You know, a typical hotel restaurant might be happy to clear 12 to 25% profit, but a well-run banquet department, they can hit an incredible 30 to 45%. So that wedding reception or corporate conference, it's not just an event, it's a huge moneymaker for the hotel. So if banquets are a gold mine, then the guest rooms, well, they're the bedrock of the entire operation. And pricing those rooms isn't just guesswork, it's a full-blown science. It's called revenue management. If you've ever booked a flight, you've seen this in action. Hotels use the exact same kind of dynamic pricing. Revenue management is the brain behind it all, constantly crunching data to predict demand and adjust room rates, sometimes minute by minute, all to squeeze out every last possible dollar. This entire game is measured by one key metric, RevPAR. That stands for revenue per available room. This number is the holy grail for hotel managers because it combines both how many rooms are sold, that's occupancy, and how much they're sold for, the average daily rate. It wraps it all up into one powerful number that tells you how healthy the hotel is financially. And to boost that RevPAR number, managers use some really clever tactics. First, there's capacity management. That means they actually overbook the hotel on purpose because they have data that tells them a certain number of people just won't show up. Then there's discount allocation, which is offering deals only when they know business is going to be slow. And duration control. Ever tried to book a room for one night during a big festival and seen a 3-night minimum? That's them, stopping a single night booking from blocking a room that they could have sold for the entire weekend. But here's the thing, none of this data matters if you can't get people in the door and keep them happy. In today's world, guest satisfaction isn't just about good service. It's a direct financial lever you can pull. Listen to this. This quote from a huge Cornell study is just astounding. It found a direct link between a hotel's online review score and its bottom line. I mean, think about that. Just a 1-point bump in your online rating means you can charge significantly more for your rooms. Let's just put a spotlight on that number for a second. An 11.2% price increase without losing any customers just by getting better reviews. This right here is why hotels are absolutely obsessed with their online reputation. And here's the proof of why that reputation is everything. Over half of us won't even consider booking a hotel if it doesn't have any reviews. And the vast majority of us read like a dozen or more reviews before we even think about clicking book. Your past guests have literally become your most powerful sales force. Okay, finally, let's talk about the parts of the hotel profit machine that guests almost never see. These are the departments that work in the shadows, but without them, the whole system would just fall apart. So, let me ask you a question. It's not bad food, it's not a rude person at the front desk, it's not even slow Wi-Fi. What is the number one thing that will absolutely guarantee a guest never, ever comes back? A lack of cleanliness. It is that simple, and it is that fundamental. And this right here, makes the housekeeping department arguably the single most important team in the entire hotel. Their work is the bedrock of keeping guests happy and coming back, which, at the end of the day, is what drives long-term profit. And then you've got the engineering department. These are the people who keep the lights on, the water running, and the air conditioning humming. They control energy costs, which can be a huge expense. And they're the ones planning for big, long-term investments, like a new roof or a lobby renovation. They are literally protecting the owner's investment. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see that a modern hotel is this finely tuned ecosystem. Absolutely nothing is left to chance. Every single detail, from how clean the floor is to the price of a room on a random Tuesday, is part of a deliberate, calculated strategy. So it kind of leaves you with one last thought, doesn't it? The next time you slide that key card and walk into your room, are you simply a guest who's looking for a good night's sleep? Or are you a carefully analyzed data point in a vast and, frankly, fascinating profit machine?